Good morning. It's 6:30 on Thursday morning. I have about an hour until Tammy from the city of Heflin comes to pick me up. The town of Heflin comes to pick me up. I've been watching the news. I'm all dressed, ready to go. My bag's just about packed. I just got to put my charging cable away. So I'm looking forward to hitting the trail again and getting some mileage done. Hoping today will be a very good day. I've been rested, so I'm hoping that I can push a little bit today, do about 20 miles. The terrain should be more favorable to good hiking today. There's not a lot of up and downs in terms of extreme elevation changes. There are elevation changes, but I think they all stay within about mostly within majority of the time, not all the time. There are some exceptions, but the majority of the time I'm within the same, let's say 500 feet of elevation as I walk along for the next 20 miles or so. That's not 100% accurate, but pretty much so. So hopefully I can make some good mileage. Check the weather. That storm that I was worried about coming on the weekend on Saturday, it looks like it's going to be here from Friday night to Saturday morning. And with it, it's going to bring a little bit of rain, but more importantly, it's going to bring some cooler temperatures. So the highs today are going to be like in the 80s, mid 80s. It's going to drop down to highs in the 60s, and then the lows will be in the upper 40s on Saturday night and probably Sunday as well. If I'm able to make it off trail Sunday, it won't make a difference. If it goes to Monday, it'll still be cooler temperatures, but they'll start rising back up again into the 50s as that front already passes through. Should bring a little bit of rain. A lot of it will probably be here Friday night to Saturday morning, but overnight. So I'm not really worried about it because I should be in my tent, and it doesn't matter if I'm in there. The good thing is the cooler temperatures should make it a little bit more comfortable inside the tent, and break some of that high humidity with the heat that I feel in the tent at night. Obviously we still have some fog in the morning and still have all the other stuff, but other than that, I'm looking forward to the cooler temperatures. So just sitting here waiting. I woke up early. Woke up right before 6. I've been up off and on since about 4:30, 5 o'clock, tossing and turning, trying to go back to sleep, and woke up at 6. I guess the gentleman with the truck isn't next to me anymore because I didn't hear him today at 6:15. Although then again, the air conditioning here when it's on is pretty noisy, as you can hear it in the background. And if it kicks on, it's loud too. But had a good night's sleep, more or less, until I woke up a couple of times at 1 and at 3. But more or less had a good night's sleep. So I'm just waiting for the news to put on. I'm watching it, waiting for the forecast to come back on. So that's it. Check back in later when we get to the trail. And there goes Miss Tammy, who just dropped me back off at the trailhead. This is where I left off 2 days ago. I'm about to start hiking again and head north. It's a beautiful day. It's a little later than I would have liked to have gone. But in the terms of, I would usually get up really early. But I enjoyed the extra hour or two of sleep, and I wanted to make sure there was daylight. Gotta try and keep going. So we're gonna start hiking north. Okay, and here I am, back on the trail. These little blue flags are really helping out. They're getting ready for the Pinhoti 100. It's a race from up here in Heflin to Silicagua that they do in about 30-something hours, 100 miles. I think that's insane. I think that there's no way that I'd be able to do that. Obviously, it took me a week to get here. I don't know about doing it in a day and a half, running all day, all night, and especially over those rocky sections. I couldn't imagine going over that at night with like a headlamp. That would just be, to me, insane. I have tent stakes. They're basic tent stakes. They're like the ones that come free with most of the tents you buy, the lower end tents. But you know what? For me, they're a godsend, and they will definitely work. So I only have to make them work for 4 or 5 days, and we'll go from there. So back on the trail. It's about 8 o'clock right now. Tammy was kind enough to pick me up in my hotel room and drop me off at the trail on her way into work. So we're gonna get going. And we're starting with a little climb. So definitely feel out of sorts, like my rhythm has been broken because I've been, 2 days basically in a hotel, which was nice. Civilization is great. the modern conveniences, hot water, a toilet, food, pretty accessible, all make for comfort. So while I like being out in the woods, definitely not what I want to be living every day out here and live like a nomad or, a mountain person. This is what I do kind of for fun, I guess. Some people probably think it's crazy, but it's definitely not a way of life. I wouldn't be living out of a tent. Okay, I'm gonna put the phone away. I'm gonna try and get back in the thing. Legs are really tight, having not been, walking that much and used. It's gonna take about, usually like a half mile or so, till they start loosening up. Especially if I got a climb coming up. That'll help them stretch out. So, check in later. And I'm coming into a sign. Tells you what's coming up. The different Forest Service roads and the shelter. I'm hoping to outpace that sign today. So, the shelter is 7 miles away. Our goal is to get past that. Trying to get back in the routine here. Nice silhouette picture. It's about 20 minutes into my hike. I'm coming up on my first mile. That was a partial view, I guess. But it's up and down here. Not as easy as I thought when you look at the map. You think it's going to be mostly the same terrain, but it's really been up and down ridges and down. So, but there's enough flat parts and downhill that I can make up the time I slow down going uphill. It's 9 o'clock. I've come to this peak with a view. It's broken, obviously, by the trees, but just beautiful to see. And I'm about 2.6 miles into my hike so far. So we're making a good time. If I can keep this up for another 8 to 10 hours, we'll be good. And we're at a sign now showing what's up ahead. So the Shoal Shelter, Lower Shoal Shelter is 4 miles away, and the High Rock Lake is 8. We're hoping to pass all of those today. We're going to push hard. So keep going. Morning, it's about 10:30 now. I've gone about 6.3 miles. Probably about a mile from that shelter, the Lower Shoals Shelter. And just gonna keep on going. Terrain's been pretty frequent altitude changes and up and down in elevation, but nothing very drastic. Usually within, like I said, the same 200 to 300 feet in general in that range. Never more than a change more than that usually. I've been averaging probably about 2 miles per hour, maybe a little bit faster, slightly. I'm hoping I can keep that up as the day progresses. I've resigned myself to try and walk as late as possible. I know I have until probably 5:30 if I need to walk and still set up in some daylight before the sun goes down. I'm trying not to walk later than that or set up in the dark if I don't have to. Once again, I can't thank Tammy and Adam enough for helping me while in this town of Heflin. But without them, I wouldn't be out here again. Obviously, those tent stakes were vital for me. Something so simple. I guess I really could have managed without them. It would have been extremely hard, though. The ground is frequently rocky here. If I found some large rocks, I guess I could have anchored my tent using those. So, I mean, if I had to, but that's not something I really want to do. And sticks were not really a good solution because the ground is usually rocky. So, much easier with stakes than without. Anyway, I'm just going to keep toiling along here. You can see the terrain is varying up and down, but and the path is pretty good. I've had a couple of blowdowns. I've had to go over or around, but nothing major.
at all, and no difficulty in following this trail. So check back in later. Okay, here's the Laurel Shelter. Lower Shoal. I'm sorry, Laurel. That's where I'm hoping to go to now tonight. Here's the Lower Shoal Shelter. I did sign the logbook. I met another hiker here. Name is Gas Tank, and exchanged some information about the trail. Mostly, he's familiar with the north end, lives in the area, so I'm hoping he'll be. He's dead on. He says there's it's a little overgrown going ahead, but it is what it is, and we're going to cross the stream. Try not to get wet. I already went in once today. I was just getting water. My foot slipped off the rock here, and I ended up getting wet. We got a little climb in front of us, and then we got a descent. And but I figure 4.5 days be in Cave Springs. Get moving. It's a nice break. Probably took a little longer than I wanted to, but it was nice to talk to another person after pretty much being so much by myself. Although I've checked in with home. Bad news is there's not much cell service going forward from here to Cave Springs, except for around Duger Mountain. So most likely I'll be out of touch with my family for a little bit until I reach Duger Mountain, which I guess will be, a little further up. So today I should be good. It's just after that, I don't think there'll be much conversation. So I'm going to look for a place, probably go to the bathroom soon. I didn't want to go down there by the shelter or around the water. So that'll take more time. But I'll check in soon. And it was nice talking to Gas Tank. He's a southbounder. He's a through hiker. I think he said he did the AT a couple of years ago, like 2014. He lives in the area, or close to Cave Springs, he said. So he started up at the North Terminus, and he's working his way south to Flag. He did take a couple of days off, he said, for that bad weather. He let me know the trail up ahead. There's no issue with water right here, but obviously around Duger Mountain, there's a problem with water because you're high up. So there's several miles there where I'll have to port enough water to take care of my needs. In addition to that, trail maintenance has been behind because this is the season when they usually start doing the trail maintenance in like another 2 weeks or so. So there's a gentleman doing maintenance now, but I guess it's slow going. So kind of explained to me that I expect it to be, it's overgrown in the areas coming north of here. So, but other than that, not a problem. And there are a lot of blowdowns on the mountain, just since they haven't got there yet. So be prepared to climb over, just he said, a phenomenal amount of blowdowns. Where at one point you're just, for a couple of miles, you're pretty much, he says, it's easy just to go up on the mountain above them and to get around them. So we'll be looking forward for that. But we're still going. So we're about 1/3 of the way in to our mileage we want to do today. So we're going to keep going. There'll be a short bathroom break coming up soon when I find the suitable spot, and then we'll go from there. Well, it's almost 12:30. I came down to this area here. You see a nice little stream. It's gently moving. I've gone almost 10 miles today so far, coming up on the 10-mile mark shortly. So I'm hoping I can do another 10 in the same amount of time, and that would give me close to my 20-mile day. I met 2 other female hikers that were going southbound in this section. They're doing, I think they said they're doing the whole trail. They're heading north, though, they said, but they were doing this section southbound. So I guess they're flip-flopping around based on weather and rides and stuff like that. I remember one of the names, female, was a graham cracker. The other one, I couldn't remember the name. I passed them probably about a mile back. So We didn't speak too much. Just asked them how the trail was up ahead. They said it was in fine shape. So, and I said the same for them, going south, going into Heflin. So this is a beautiful section right here, right along this little stream. It's still going up and down. Like I said, probably about 200-300 feet elevation change at a time, or less. But it's pleasant walking. As far as I'm concerned, anything's better than the rocks. So, so far, it's been pretty good. And I'm just moving along. It's about 12:40, and I'm still walking along, making good progress, I think. Averaging probably about 2 miles an hour. Beautiful little bridge here. I'm going to start climbing up, it looks like. I've been down low along this stream. I've crossed numerous water crossings. Everything's had water. I was able to rock hop pretty much across most of them. So my feet have stayed or began drying from when I went to get water and I slipped off a rock at the shelter. But other than that, it's been easily able to get across any water crossing without getting my feet wet, with a little bit of time and patience. And it's actually a beautiful portion of trail over here. I really enjoyed coming down, following that river, or that stream, I should say. And that area there is absolutely beautiful. And the trail is well marked. It gets a little narrow in a couple places along, a ridge, but now it's opened up again, and it's nice walking. And I'm coming up on mile marker 123, and you can see the sign here. So I got the Laurel Shelter and Sweetwater Lake up ahead. I'm going to try and reach the shelter. It's 7 miles. We'll go there, and then we'll reassess if we want to try to push further in the day, which we probably will. Now I figure that'll take me 2 hours at least to get there. But we'll see. It's 1:45 right now. So if I can get, 2 more hours and get to that shelter, that won't be too bad. It'll be close to, 3 o'clock. And I could probably look for a campsite a little further past there, or decide to stop the day. Like I said, I'm reassessing. I'm basically planning for 5 days now to make it to Cave Springs. I think the 4 days is a good target, but I don't want to bank on it. So I'm going to mentally prepare myself that I won't reach there till Monday. And if I can make it on Sunday, all the better. But in reality, part of me is pushing to try and make it. Okay, check back in. Laurel Shelter, 5 miles. Trail picks up across the bridge north of Campground. Okay, let's follow the road. It's 1:45 o'clock right now. I've gone roughly almost 13 miles, just shy of 13 miles today. Gonna keep on going, try and make our miles. Yep. Pine Glen. And here's the Pine Glen Campground. This would be a great place to stay if I wasn't in a rush to keep putting miles in. And we're gonna walk across the bridge, and the trail should be up ahead. At least that's what the sign said. And I see a blaze right here on the sign, and there's one that looks like on the far side of the bridge as well. So we're doing well. Okay, probably gonna have a little snack in a little bit, and we'll keep moving on. I still have my 2 liters of water. I'm probably going to drink next time I come to stream. Not this one, I'll keep moving. But the next time I come to one, I'm going to probably drink a lot, camel up again, and I'll even fill my bottle with an extra 20 ounces. So I have extra. I'm about mile 128 plus a little bit extra. I'm coming to this meadow, and the trail goes right across it. You can see there's a small trail here, and of course the markings over there. So that's where I'm heading. Definitely something different. Didn't expect to see this here. Beautiful though. Quite a nice open view. Best open view I've had the whole trip. And you can see the lake over there. I forgot the name. It's Spring Creek Lake or something like that. I have about a liter of water left, and a little bit after that. I'm gonna have to get water shortly, and I don't know when I'm gonna stop for the day. I'm gonna try and keep on pushing. I want to try and get as much as I can today, and then I know the other days are gonna be a little bit harder. So I'm holding off. But I stopped and drank, but I didn't resupply my water. The Laurel Shelter is about two miles ahead. I'm thinking about maybe stopping there for the night, but I'm gonna wait till I get there and see what time it is and how I'm feeling. I'm definitely gonna try and stock up on water there, and then I'll play it by ear. Here's the lake. I can see some people out there fishing. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, let's make some tracks though. Daylight is burning. It's 4:20. I passed the Laurel Shelter a little while ago. There were 4 people in there. One guy had his tent set up inside the shelter. There were 3 other people there. Looked like a family, perhaps, or a man with his 2 sons. And so I just kept walking. I didn't even stop. I didn't take a picture and do anything. I just kept going. Trying to get more mileage done. I'm going to at least go till 5 and then look for a spot. Definitely by 5:30 or 5:45, I'd like to have a spot picked out before the sun starts going really down. So I'm going to try and get another mile or 2 in. See what I can do. If I can reach the church, maybe I'll camp over there. I know there's porta potties there as well. Not that that really matters to me, but just someplace to jump off tomorrow and try and do another long day. So if I would have started earlier today, I could have easily reached, I think, longer distances. But being that I started at least, 2 hours or an hour and a half late, that's another 3 to 4 miles that I wasn't able to walk today. That I definitely could have. So I don't even remember what I really even targeted. So I just know I was trying to do 20 miles or so. So we'll see. Here's the Shoal Creek Church. It's a log church. Part of me wants to visit it, but part of me needs to make miles. Obviously a very historic site. I'd like to spend more time and probably explore it and walk around. I know it's open, but I'm going to continue going to make miles. I think I want to go another mile and 7/10 to a creek, and supposedly there's a campsite right there. So that's my goal for tonight, and I think I have enough daylight to do it, but I have to keep moving. Loblolly Pine Progeny Test Site, part of the Talladega Forest. Let's see what that is. Established in December 1993. So quite a while ago. Got a little over a mile to this creek, and supposedly there's a tent site nearby. I'm going to try and stay there. If not, as soon as I pass that creek or around that creek, I'm going to be looking for a space. So we're going to try and make some tracks here because obviously the sun's getting low. It's almost 5 o'clock. And I'd like to try and find a place before it gets dark. But at this point, I don't think I'm going to find too many people hiking still. So if I need to, I can always set up somewhere on the trail and then just get up early. It's 5:17. I've arrived at mile marker 133.6 or 0.8. I just crossed a little stream, and there's a campsite that I'm going to use right here for tonight. So this is going to be home. I'm going to try and get set up real quick. Sun's going down. I'm probably going to get water. There's a creek right there. Maybe I'll grab some extra water, and I'll start doing my priorities. I'll film some stuff later. I don't know what just happened, but the gods are smiling on me. I just took my pack off, and my zipper pocket on the left-hand hip was open, and that's the one that had the tent stakes in them. And I only found 6 of them, but the other 2 of them are dropped right here next to where I'm standing, so basically 2 feet away. So I don't know if it just caught on something. I didn't take anything out. I took a snack out of there, but that was several miles back. Luckily, I have all my equipment, I think. I don't think I'm missing anything. The only thing I think I had in there was snacks and the steaks. So these are the all-important steaks. They're, they're the basic ones you get when you buy a lower-end tent, but they're going to work for me today. Good evening. I'm going to do a little recap while my food is reconstituting. It's 6 o'clock now. I've been at camp for, about 40 minutes, 45 minutes. I've got water, got my tent set up behind me, as you can see. There's a mosquito coming around. Have my food bag cable set, and I got my food in a freezer bag, hopefully soaking. I'm going to try it. It's been a while since I should have cooked it. It's pasta. It takes a little longer to cook, so I'm letting it sit. It's still very hot, very watery. It's fettuccine with butter sauce, so I'm going to let it cool down. Hopefully that'll make it thicken, and it'll also allow the noodles time to rehydrate, which will take a long time, more than the 7-10 minutes they advertise. I probably should just boil it in the pot, but I don't want to have to clean anything. It's getting dark. I just sent out 2 messages. I have no signal here, and Gas Tank, the hiker, told me that most of the trail going north, except for the mountain, has minimal signal. So until I get to Cave Springs, I'm thinking that I'm going to have problems with signal. So I'm eating some snacks now, and I'm waiting for my pasta. I wanted to make that the first because I think it's the hardest meal to make. I know the soup I'll cook in the pot. That'll reconstitute fairly easy. Just I knew the noodles would be hard. And mashed potatoes, I think, will reconstitute pretty easy as well. So this is probably the hardest meal. So I'll let it sit. I'll give it at least, if I have to, 10-15 minutes. I don't care. I have about 40 minutes or so until the sun goes down. It looks like I did 21.9 miles today. I started at the Heflin Spur at Forest Service 500, which is mile 111.7. And I'm here at mile 133.6. So I definitely did my mileage today. I walked later than expected, but I'm glad to have done it, and I know I can do it. So tomorrow we'll try and do something similar. I'm going to look. I'll have time tonight, I'm sure. I'm going to wait, obviously, until the sun comes up. There'll be no hiking until the sun comes up for me. I don't want to get lost or turned around. That's not something I want to do. I've already pushed it 2 or 3 times, and I've been fairly lucky. The other problem I have is that, I want to take down my tent and give me time to do everything. Tomorrow night, there's a cold front coming through with some possible rain overnight. So I'll have to make sure my tent is well staked out and done tomorrow. I'm going to put those tent stakes in the tent bag with them so I know I don't lose them again. I got fairly lucky today. I don't know how that hip pocket came open. I passed those hikers. I saw a couple of people on the one of the different lakes or rivers with canoes, but I just saw those 3 hikers today. That was it. The 2 ladies that were together One was graham cracker. I don't remember the other name. I don't know if it was marmalade or something else. I'm guessing that wasn't it. And Gas Tank, who's going all the way to Flag, and he's going to Heflin tonight, so he should be there. So hopefully he's enjoying the hospitality that Heflin has to offer. I'm going to look to see where I'm going to target tomorrow. I'm going to try and do the same thing, 20, 21 miles, something like that. I may try to go a little bit further. If I can, I'll start early. I'll start when the sun comes up at about 6:30 or so. I'll be all set and ready to go. All my stuff will be packed, and we'll see if we can do another 20 miles tomorrow or further. That's it. Other than that, it was a good day. The terrain was conducive to traveling. While it's up and downs, they generally no more than like a 200 or 300 foot change in height at any one time. So overall, it might have been more, but it's staggered. So I think I have the same terrain coming up for at least the next 10 miles or so. But then I know I come to Duggar Mountain. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know if it's Duggar or Duggar, but I'm assuming it's Duggar Mountain. I guess it could be Duggar too. That's when the terrain will really change, and I go up on a climb and then have to come back down and then a climb. So that's also the best chance I have for having reception in terms of cell service the next day or two. So I'm going to look at the map going forward. I'm going to stay on the main branch. I decided not to split off, obviously. I passed 2 campsites, campgrounds that were actually, commercial campgrounds to get here today. So I think this is better. It didn't cost me anything. I have everything I need. And I'm okay and content with being out here and moving along. So in a couple of days, hopefully, Cave Springs. You just got to push it. And that's it. Don't have much else. I'll expect the sun's going to go down, so I'm not going to be able to film too much. I'm going to try and edit this a little bit and, let you know how the food comes out. I'm expecting it to be crunchy because I didn't boil it. Probably need to stop doing that in the future. Stop doing the, freezer bag or boiling bag and just clean my pot and not be lazy. Okay.